close this. Now, on the left, I just want to show you, if you hover over online store here, you'll see this eye icon. And if you click on that, then it will take you to your storefront. Now, this is what my store looks like at the moment. It's not very exciting. It just has some placeholder content in there. But later on, we'll show you how you can change that. So let's close that and go back to the admin. So the first thing I want to show you, you're probably thinking about adding your first product. So if I go onto the left here, click products, you can see that I have some products already added to my store, but I'll show you how you can add your first one. So if you go into the Add Products button on the right, here is where you can add the information. So let's begin by adding in a title and the description. So for example, my title could be a white floral maxi dress. Now we want to make the title descriptive, but not too long, and just giving our customers enough information to understand what the product is. Then in the description, we can add some further information about the product. So your description might look something like that, for example. When you're writing your description, try to include as much information as you can so that your customers can make an informed decision when they're making purchases on your store. Then below that, we have the media section. So this is where we can add images or videos of our product. So if I click here, then it will open up a window on my computer, and I can select one or more images that I have already saved here. So I'm going to add these 4 images. And don't worry too much about the ordering that you upload the images in, because you can easily reorder them by dragging and dropping. So for example, if I want to reorder, I could just do that. And the large image on the left here will be your main image. That is the first image the customers will see when they open the product page. Below that, we have pricing. So we need to enter something in the price box. That's mandatory. And then next to it, we have compare at price. Now, this is optional. If you want to show that your product is on sale, then you can enter the original price in here, and that will show that the price of the product has been reduced. Below that, we have some settings for the inventory. Now we have 0 in the box here. If I leave it like that, then when I go to my product page, it will show as out of stock. So you want to make sure this is a number greater than 0. So for example, I could put 10 into there. Then next we have shipping options. We have either physical product or digital product. Now, my dress is certainly not a digital product, so I'm going to leave it on the physical product setting there. And then I think that is the minimum amount of information I need in order to create my product. So at that stage, I'm going to click Save at the top right here. Then under More Actions, I'll click Preview so we can see what it looks like And this, as you can see, is my first product on my store. I have the photos on the left, title and description on the right, with the add to cart and buy it now buttons. So let's go back to the product. And one thing that you might want to add here is variants. So variants are different options, for example, size or color. My dress comes in different sizes and colors. So if I scroll down, I will see the variant section down here. And if I click add options, then I can type in some options in here, such as color. I'm going to rename that. And my dress comes in 3 colors. And you can see as I type in each option, Shopify automatically adds another box below it to type the next one in. And I'll click done. And now I want to add the size. So if I go add another option, I can select size. Then I want to type in small, medium, and large. Now, as I'm doing that, you can see below here, Shopify is automatically creating the variants. And there is one variant for each combination of each color and each size. And so we have 9 variants created down here. At this stage, I'm going to click Save again. And you can see that each variant settings can be changed independently. So if we want to, we can assign a different price, a different number of stock, and so on for each variant separately. And another thing I might want to do is add images to each variant. And I can select more than one variant at a time. If I want to add the same image to these 3 pink variants, I can select all of them. And then I get this bulk edit menu at the bottom here. So if I click the 3 dots, then I go to add images. Then I can select one of the images that I've already uploaded earlier on. Then I do the same for the light blue variant. Add images. I add the light blue. Done. And then lastly, with the 3 navy blue ones, I go add images, navy blue, and then done. Then one final thing I might want to do here is to change the inventory levels because most of them are showing as 0. So if I put 10 into each of them, for example, then they won't show as out of stock on the product page. So I'm just going to quickly change those, and then I'll click Save at the top again. Then let's go to more actions and then preview it again to see what our product page looks like now. So you can see that Shopify has added some new options here. So you can select the color and the size. And also if I select a different color, then you can see that the image on the left is changing accordingly. So that is how you create your variants. Okay, so I'd like to move on now to creating a collection. So on the left, we have collections below products on the menu. And what is a collection? Well, a collection is a group of products that share a common feature. So for example, it could be women's products and clothing for men. It could be children's clothing. It could be seasonal products or products on sale. And grouping your products into collections can help your customers to find them more easily. So I have some collections already created, but I want to create a new one. So I go to create collections on the top right. And let's say, for example, I want to create a collection that shows all the products in my store that are less than £10. I might want to call it under £10. We can put a description if we want to. Then below that, we have a couple of options, manual and automated. So manual, if I select this, I would need to add the products to my collection individually. But in this case, an automated collection would be more appropriate. And an automated collection works using conditions. So in this case, I want to select price is less than, and then here 10. So what that means is I've set up a rule for this collection. So it means that when I save this, it will create an automatic collection with all the products that are less than £10. And if I decide to change the price of one of these items, if I change it to a price that's more than £10, then it will automatically be removed from the collection. And if I click on a view at the top here, we can see what it looks like in the store. And we can see that all of these products are under £10. Then later on, we can show you how to add these collections to your menu here, the navigation at the top. Okay, let's talk about creating discounts. So let's go to discounts on the left-hand side. So discounts can be a powerful marketing strategy for your online store and a great way of increasing sales. And in order to create my first discount, I would click the Create Discount button. And you can see that there are 4 types. There are amount of products. That means you would give your customers either a fixed amount or a percentage off specific products. There's amount of order. So you could give your customers a discount if they purchase a certain amount in their order. There's buy X, get Y, which could be buy one, get a second one at half price, for example. And there's also a free shipping discount. So let's say, for example, that I want to give my customers 5% off if they buy £50 or more from my store. So for that, I would go to amount of order. And we have 2 methods here. We have a discount code and an automatic discount. So a discount code is a code that you create and that customers have to manually enter into the checkout. Whereas an automatic discount is one that gets applied automatically at the cart or the checkout without the customer having to enter the code. So in this case, I want to create a discount and I will give it a name, for example, new 05. Can be anything you choose. And next to value, I can either select a percentage or fixed amount, but I want 5%. So I've selected percentage, and then in the box, I type in 5. Then under minimum purchase requirements, I want to give this discount to customers who purchase at least £50. So I will select minimum purchase amount. Then in the box, I type 50. You have the option for selecting which customers are eligible. And for now, I'll leave it as all customers, but you can specify specific ones if you'd like to. You are able to apply limits on the discount, such as how many times it can be used or how many times each customer can use it. You can choose whether to combine it with other discounts. And then finally, you can choose for your discount to be activated at a certain time and date in the future. And also, if you want it to expire, you can click set end date and you can choose to make it expire. For example, I might want to make it valid only until the end of this month. So I would choose the date there, and I can choose any end time I'd like. Then after you've configured everything, you can click the save button at the top there. And it tells me my discount was created successfully. Okay. So let's talk about setting up your shipping options. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have the settings menu, and let's go to shipping and delivery here. So Shopify allows you to provide different options for shipping for your customers. So one is shipping. This is where your order gets delivered to your customers. You have local delivery. So if this is, if you want to personally deliver the products to your customers, if they live in your area. And you also have local pickup. So this is like a click and collect kind of option here. But today I just want to focus on the first one, which is a shipping option, as it's probably the most popular one. And let's go to manage on the right here. So we can see that we have something called a general profile. And in Shopify, you have what's called shipping profiles. Now, if you're selling different types of products, for example, you might be selling small products such as jewelry, but you also sell large products like furniture. So those different products will need 2 different profiles because obviously they'll require a different type of shipping for each one. And within each shipping profile, you're able to choose different settings and set up different rates. But if you don't create any additional shipping profiles, then by default, Shopify will create the general profile, as we can see here, and all of your products will be added into that general profile. So just to bear that in mind. Now, at the bottom here, we have what's called shipping zones. So a shipping zone is a set of countries or regions that you'll be shipping your products to. Now, when you first set up your store, by default, Shopify will create 2 zones, one for United Kingdom called domestic, and then one for the rest of the world. Now, depending on how you want to ship your products, you might want to leave those two zones, you might want to create an additional zone for Europe, or if you're only shipping to the UK, then you might want to delete the rest of world shipping zone. And the way to delete a zone is you go to the three dots on the right-hand side and either edit the zone or delete it. So let's talk about shipping rates. So within each shipping zone, you'll be able to set up one or more rates. And within this domestic one, we have a free rate already there. And let's say we want to add a new rate for express shipping. So if my customers want to receive their order more quickly, what I can do is I can click Add Rate. And then below transit time, I can select Express. And then in the price box, I can type in the price that I want to charge my customers for their express delivery. And we can see it's been added there. And another thing we can do is to set up the rates depending on the price or the total amount that the customer is ordering, or the total weights of the products that the customer is ordering. And let's say, for example, I want to offer free shipping to customers who purchase at least £100 from my store. So where we've got the standard here, we can click the three dots, go to edit rate. And you can see we have these add conditions here. I want to base this on the order price. So the minimum price to get free shipping would be £100. There's no maximum, and I can click done. Then I just want to add a new rate for customers who purchase less than £100. So if I click add rate, and I can click add conditions. Maybe I might want to charge £3.99, for example, based on order price, and then maximum price would be £99.99. And then I can click on done. I've just named them both standard, but you can rename these. And the last thing I wanted to show you is if you wanted to set up your shipping based on weights, then when you go to add conditions, you would select based on item weight. However, if you do want to base your shipping on the weights, then you do need to enter an accurate weight for every product in your store. Otherwise, your customers won't be charged correctly. Okay, now I'm going to discard these save settings and then close that, because I would now like to talk about customizing your theme. So we talked earlier about choosing a theme and customizing the theme for your store. So let's go on to online store on the left. And then on the right, it will show you a preview of the current theme that's published on your store. Now, if we scroll down, it will take you to popular free themes. So you can add one of the other free themes from there, or you can go to visit the theme store where you can browse the whole range of themes available. So I'm just going to work with the default theme right now, which is called Dawn. And if I go to customize on the right-hand side, you'll be taken to this, which is the theme editor. So just show you what the different controls mean. If you click on the 3 dots at the top here, you have the option to edit code, but that's only recommended if you understand coding, which of course is not necessary in order to customize your theme. You can click on view. If you click view, it will show you the live store, how it looks. Next, we have the box in the middle here is currently on the home page. If you click that, the menu will allow you to select a different page that you want to customize from your store. And you're able to customize nearly every type of page on your store. So it's very flexible. This blue button here is called the inspector. So when that's activated, what it does is if I hover over any section on the left, for example, header, you can see that a blue box appears around the header. If I hover over slideshow, the blue box appears over slideshow, and so on. So it's just an easy way to identify which part of the page you're currently editing. Then on the right, we have the view. So this view here is called desktop. If I click that and select mobile, I can see what it looks like on a mobile device. Or I can click full screen, and that will show me the theme without any of the controls on the left, but the default view is desktop. Then we have up here on the right, we have undo and redo buttons, and then the save button. Then just to explain a bit more about how this works. So on the left here, we can see the different sections that make up our home page. And whenever you click a section on the left, then you can see that the section on the right is highlighted to show that you are editing that section. And the page is made up of 3 parts. So we have a header, which is the top of the page. We have a template, which is like the sort of body, and then the footer, which is the bottom of the page. And some of these sections can be reordered by dragging and dropping. So if I want to add, after the slideshow, I want to add another section here, and I might want to add a collection list, for example. If I want to move the collection list above the slideshow, I can easily drag and drop that below above the slideshow, and that would move. And then another thing we can do is hide or make section visibles. So when you hover over a section, you see this eye icon. If you want to just hide that, you can click the icon and it will be temporarily hidden like that. Talking about the slideshow, if we want to add an image into here, where we've got image slide on the left, if we click that, then I can click select image, and I can either upload one from my computer, or Shopify does provide free images. So if we click explore free images, then we can select one from the stock photo library. So for example, I might want to add one of these in, like this one, and then I click select. And as you can see, there's many other options available to me here, like we can change this image slide text. We can change the label on the button. We can even remove the button if we don't want it there. We can change the sizes of these texts. We can move the positioning of the box, for example, middle left, and so on. And because every theme is different and there are so many settings to go through, I would recommend just spending some time familiarizing yourself with the theme editor and experimenting with different layouts and seeing what works best for your store. Then the last thing on this page is on the left, we have theme settings, this paintbrush icon. If you click that, then it will give you even more configurations. So for example, you can add your store logo at the top. You can change the colors of elements like buttons and text. You can change the typography, which is the fonts on the store, and layouts and many other different options there. Again, it's too many for us to go through today, but you get the idea. And that is how to customize your theme very briefly. So I'm going to come out of this and go back to the admin. So now I'm going to talk about adding pages and blog posts. So if you have some content on your website that's not going to be changing frequently, then you'll want to give that content a permanent location. So for example, you might want to create an About Us page or Contact Us page. And the way to do it is to go to Online Store on the left and then click on Pages. So to create my first page, I would click on Add Page. And there's not too much to fill in here, but the title of the page could be About Us, for example, if I want to tell my customers more about my company. And then in the description, in the content, I can put some text here. And above that, we have a toolbar with different buttons so we can format the text just like you would in a Word document, for example. And you're able to add in other elements like tables, images, videos, etc. And you can also choose to make your page visible immediately. You can make it hidden, and you can set the page to be visible at a specific date in the future. And that's about it, really. Usually you'd want it to be visible immediately, so I'd leave it on the default option there. Then if I click the Save button and I click on View Page, then we can see what our very simple About page looks like on our store. And I just want to show you one more page. So if I click Add Page, I click Contact Us. And it's very important to have your contact details easy to find on your website. So I might want to put my contact information like phone, email, and address there. And same as before, except down here, we have theme template. And I want to select contact from the menu. And if I click Save, then I view the page again. Let's see what happens. So you can see that Shopify has added a very nice contact form here. So when your customers submit this form, you'll be sent an email notification informing you that you have a new message. and then you can respond easily to your customers through there. Let's close that. Next, we want to have a look at blog posts. So adding regular content to your store is an important thing to keep your customers engaged. And it also helps with search engine optimization. If you don't know what that means, so SEO is the practice of optimizing your website so that it ranks higher up in the search engines. And if we go to blog posts on the left, and then I click create blog post, the method is very similar to creating a page. So again, you have title, content. The only difference is there's some additional options, like you can add a featured image. You can add an excerpt, which is a summary of your post. And then down here in the bottom, you can choose the author of your blog post and add some tags to it. Tags are like categories. Then again, you can choose to make the blog visible immediately, or you can schedule it to be visible at a specific date and time in the future. And when you've done, you can click save at the top there. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is the navigation of your store. So now that we have some pages, some products and collections added to the store, you want to make sure that your customers can find them easily. And you need to think about how to organize this information on your store so that your customers can easily navigate and find what they're looking for. So on the left here, we have a navigation menu, and Shopify has already created two menus here, footer and main menu. So a main menu is what appears at the top in the header of the page, and the footer is at the bottom of the page. And we'll just look at the main menu today. And the way to add an item to your menu is if you click add a menu item, a box appears on the right. In the link box, if you click there, there'll be different categories of pages you can add. If I want to add my about page, for example, I'd go to pages and then click about and then click add. And I can repeat the process for the contact us page. And for example, I want to add a link to my women's clothing collection. I go to link collections and women's and click add. And now I don't quite want it in that order, so I can easily rearrange this. And let's put it below the catalog. So catalog is the complete set of items in my store, and then I want the women's collection below catalog. So that's why it's slightly indented here, because it's a kind of sub menu below catalog. Then I'm going to save that. And if I click on view my online store, we can see that now on the if I hover over catalog, I have the women's collection, and it's also added a link here to our About Us page. Okay, we're almost there. So I just want to talk about two more things. First thing is Shopify payments. So we talked about how to get payments from your customers. And in order to do that, you need to set up a payment gateway. Now, Shopify payments is the default option. and it's very easy to set up, only requires a few clicks. And as mentioned before, the credit card fees are very reasonable. You do also have the option to set up third-party payment providers, but if you do that, you'll be charged additional transaction fees on top of the usual credit card rates. So we would highly recommend to stick with Shopify payments. And the way to set that up is if you go to settings and then onto payments, then we have a button that says activate Shopify payments here. And once you click that, you'll be asked to provide some information about your business and your personal contact information and your banking information. Then once you fill that all in, you'll be able to activate Shopify payments, and no further configuration is required. And you do have the option to accept additional payment methods like PayPal, Amazon Pay, even manual payment methods like bank transfers and so on. And I also wanted to add, if you're wondering about mobile payments, so new types of payments like Apple Pay, Google Pay, then those are all included within Shopify payments as well. Okay, then finally, the last thing I want to talk about here is domains. So when you create your Shopify store, you'll be given a domain which ends in .myshopify.com. That can't be changed. However, you do have the option to connect a custom domain. And this could be something like yourstorename.com. And it's highly recommended to do that to strengthen your brand. And you have two options. You can either buy a new domain from Shopify. If you do that, then your domain will be added automatically to your store, and the process is much quicker. But if you want to buy a third-party domain from GoDaddy, for example, you can do that. But the downside is you'll have to configure the DNS records yourself, which could be tricky if you've not done it before. So you do have the two options there, but we would recommend purchasing a domain from Shopify because that simplifies the process. And I'm going to close out of this because that now concludes the live demo portion of this presentation. And I'm going to go back to the slides now. Okay. So one thing we didn't look at in the live demo was Shopify apps. So out of the box, Shopify includes everything you need to start selling online. But if you need extra functionality, then you can browse the Shopify App Store, where you'll find a huge range of free and paid apps. And on the slide, we have some examples of different apps like SEO, social media reviews. There's also analytics apps, there's invoicing apps, image gallery apps, and so many more. And because there are so many apps to choose from, we've included a link on the slide there to help you choose which are the best free apps for your store to get you started. Okay, so that concludes the main part of this presentation, and I'm going to hand over back to Gary.
Okay, thank you, Sybil. One of the key issues with Shopify, and indeed any other selling process, is marketing your online store. E-commerce offers a lot of benefits over traditional brick and mortar stores, such as low barriers to entry and low cost startup, because of course you haven't got physical premises. However, one big disadvantage to an online store is that there's a lack of footfall. So, you know, you've not got a high street location or whatever, or a location where a lot of people pass by and you may get some passing trade. So basically what that means is that your marketing activities are vital. You can have a perfectly designed store, but if nobody knows it exists, then it isn't going to make any money. There are a number of strategies that you can pursue here. Social media and email marketing will be your best friends when starting out, as they are relatively cheap and very effective. But what you need to do is to build a basic marketing strategy, and maybe develop a marketing plan. There are lots of organisations that can help you to do this. Indeed, if you look at the British Library's event programme, they've been doing some marketing and branding related events. There may be others, but you need to check the British Library website out. There are other organisations as well that can do this. Some of them may charge, some of them are free. Of course, most British Library presentations are free. And you can try experimenting with things like pay-per-click ads, SEO, search engine optimization, which is a way of getting yourself up the Google rankings, non-online marketing, discount and loyalty cards, referral programs, blogging, and many other techniques. Again, this may be an area where we can give you some assistance as well. But you should. One of the key issues around business currently is marketing and maintaining a marketing profile. There isn't a blueprint for this. It depends on a whole range of things, and whether you have money to invest in it, or whether you're going to do it yourself, or whether you're going to deploy other strategies. As I say, there are one thing I would certainly advise is that you develop a marketing plan, an outline marketing plan, and there are many sources of information and support for this. And if that's something that interests you, then please contact us as well. If you can go to the next slide, Sybil. We're going to look at a few case studies now. As I said at the beginning, there is a whole range of businesses, celebrities, and others, companies large and small, who use Shopify. So I'm going to focus on some well-known ones to start with. The first one, of course, is the singer Adele, who has developed a very significant profile. She's got a significant profile internationally. So she's able to sell a whole range of products online, and she uses Shopify to do this. The other, one of the advantages as well, certainly for larger brands like this, is that the bigger volume you trade at, that you're going to get a better rate in terms of Shopify charges. So big volume organizations, this is the nature of market economics, will always get a better deal. But the standard plans are good as well. But Adele uses Shopify to both sell a range of goods and services, and of course it's a good way of keeping yourself in the public eye when you're not on tour or whatever, and to buy other marketed goods all year round. If you go to the next slide, Sybil, please. This is another international brand. This is the very well-known singer Beyonce. Again, when you've got a brand like this, the opportunities for significantly enhancing that brand and profile are major. So one of the ways that she's done this is to have her own Shopify store, and again, they have the benefit of volume transactions, etc., etc. So it makes perfect sense to use Shopify both to connect with consumers and to get your goods and services out there in an easy and manageable way. Next one, Sybil. So we now go from two major brands to a local business. This is a business that Sybil and I have done some work with. This is a company called Vintage Recovery. It's a fairly new business. And what they do is they rework and upcycle vintage clothing. It's a sustainable fashion brand because a very significant percentage of clothing goes to landfill. So I think it's about 85%. What companies like Vintage Recovery are trying to do is they're trying to recycle clothing. They either resell or rework it, or they use the material to develop new garments to make it more sustainable, and to ensure that previous products are recycled and don't go to landfill, just so it helps with your carbon footprint, and of course the whole climate change sustainability agenda. It helps in a small way, but important way to address that. So that is a business that I would really recommend if any of you are interested. And over to you, Sybil, for the final case study.
Thank you, Gary. And the last case study is Crazy Thumbs. And this is also a local business based in Tooting in London. And they specialize in vintage and contemporary games, consoles, and accessories. And they came to me because they were originally on the eBay platform, but they found that their fees were significantly high on eBay, and they wanted a more cost-effective solution. And I recommended Shopify to them, and now they've been trading on the Shopify platform for just over a year, and they're very happy with it. They've now completely migrated off of eBay, so they're no longer using it. And another reason why they prefer Shopify is because they have much more control over their store and over how they run their business. So, for example, with Shopify, they can control everything from the branding, the look and feel of the store, how they manage their customers and returns, whereas on eBay, they just weren't able to do that. They were locked into eBay's terms and conditions. They were having a lot of trouble with customers returning items which were used, even though the products themselves were not faulty in any way, but they were getting many returns. And they had no choice but to refund the customers. Whereas now on Shopify, they have much more control over how they deal with customer service and especially with returns. And the next steps are two things. So one is they want to expand internationally. And one thing we didn't talk much about was using Shopify to sell to an international market. but that's perfectly possible with the new Shopify Markets feature, which makes it very easy to customize markets according to different market needs. So, for example, you can create different shipping settings for different countries and regions. You can translate your store into different languages. You can sell in different foreign currencies, etc. And also they want to work on integrating their physical store, because they also have a store based in London, to make it more streamlined with their online store. What I mean by that is right now they're having to manually, whenever they sell an item in their physical store, they're having to manually update the inventory on their Shopify store. But there is something called Shopify POS, which makes that much easier to do, because it kind of integrates the physical location and the online store into one platform, which makes that process much easier. So they're looking into doing that as well. Okay, so I'm going to hand over back to Gary again.
Okay, there will be some opportunities shortly for a few questions via the chat, please. But I've just collated some of the most common questions that we get on presentations on Shopify. So so we'll go through these briefly. First question is, what are the factors I need to consider when setting up an e-commerce business?
So yes, so here are a few of the things you need to think about. So we talked about your branding. Do you have a company logo? What are the sorts of colors and fonts that you'll be using? Then there's target market. So you need to think about who are your customers, such as in what location they are based, what's their income, their age, gender, occupation, because that will affect the products that you sell and the price points. And also, if you're selling physical products, do research on your suppliers as well, in order to get the best deals for supplying your products.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, can I sell digital downloads or subscriptions with Shopify?
Yes, you can. So by default, Shopify doesn't offer that option. However, on the Shopify App Store, you'll find many apps that can do that for you. They could be free or paid, because the pricing for these apps do vary. So I suggest taking a look at the App Store to see what's available there.
Okay, thank you. Third question is, how can I track the performance of my Shopify store?
Yeah, so Shopify itself offers an analytics feature. So with this, you can track many of the important metrics of your store. For example, your sales, your customers, what were the top selling products, what pages your customers are visiting, what keywords they're searching for. And if you need even more information and insights, then there's the free Google Analytics tool, which you can also add to your store, and that will give you additional data, like from what locations your customers are coming from, how are they finding your site, what devices they're using, and so much more.
Okay, thank you. And finally, what are the alternatives to Shopify?
Yeah. So two of the most popular ones are probably WooCommerce. So if you're familiar with WordPress, you might have heard of the WooCommerce plugin, which you can add to your WordPress site to turn it into an e-commerce store. And secondly, Wix as well. So Wix is another platform which is very quick and easy to set up a website on, and you can even start for free. However, I would say with the e-commerce functionality in Wix, it's quite limited compared with Shopify. So out of the two, I would recommend Shopify over Wix.
Okay, thank you for that, Sybil. As I said, that's some of the most popular questions that we are asked. If you can move on to the next slide, please. Somebody's just asked me about what else or what further support you can get. So that's very timely. There are other sources of support in terms of developing a Shopify project. You may have to pay for them, though. We charge for some of our services. Some are free, and we like to do that wherever possible. So one of the things you can do is attend or register for the workshop, Funding and Opportunities for E-Commerce, which is on Tuesday, the 25th of April, 2023, from 11 till 12:30. This is live, and it's at the British Library. The link is there if you want to record, to copy that or photograph it. Funding and support for Shopify and other e-commerce platforms is another webinar that we are running as an organization on Thursday, the 11th of May. There is a charge for that. It's not overly expensive, though. Both of those events are on Eventbrite as well. That's something else that some of you might want to look at if you want further support. But free support is very limited. If you're interested in support from us, then please contact us. What you will also get shortly as well is an email with a number of offers in it, and or you can email us directly for further information, and if it's a service we charge for, we will quote a charge for it. If you can move on to the next slide, Sybil. So any questions? I've just answered the one from Pooja about further support. Of course, you can look at the Shopify site as well. That's an obvious thing to do. You can still get a live demonstration on that. Can you, Sybil? You have to do it yourself.
Sorry, do you mean, how do you mean by a live demo?
Well, you can do your own live demonstration, or get a live demonstration via the Shopify site.
Yeah, if you mean creating your trial,
yes, yeah, you're on.
Then you can either create your free trial, as we mentioned earlier, or contact us and we can get an unlimited trial set up. And once you have that, you have access to pretty much all of the features that we talked about and more, and you'll be able to explore and try out the platform and gain a better understanding of how Shopify works.
Okay, have we got any other questions from anybody? If you can put them in the chat, please.
A question from Jamal.
Okay, sure.
This is David currently interpreting for Jamal, but Jamal, ready? Yeah. Hi folks, Jamal here. Yeah, so in terms of creating a project, I've got one through, I believe it's Pinful, where I've uploaded that to my sales software platform. And just to check though, are these kind of things free? and then you pay later on. Can I just get a little bit more clarity in terms of if I upload my products and stuff to Shopify, does the payment, go through, like, for example, like a printing organization how does that work? Do I have to pay the company first and then it goes through Shopify, or just a bit of clarity there, please?
Do you want to clarify that, Sybil?
So yes, I believe with drop shipping apps, usually they would be free to install, and you'd load the products into your store, and only once you make a sale, then you would pay for the product. We are looking into drop shipping a bit in more detail. So what we can do is, if you did want to contact us, we can give you some more in-depth detail on that. But I believe the process is, as I said, it's free to install, and then you pay once you make a sale.
Yeah, so we've got two questions. That was one. Another question was, is it possible for you guys to check my website and give feedback on how to improve it? Yes, we can do that. There may be a charge incurred for that, but yes, we could do that. Please contact us directly. That's something Sybil does on a regular basis. So this is definitely somewhere that we can help you on. You want to add anything to that, Sybil?
No, I don't have anything to add, but yeah, we'll be more than happy to help you with any suggestions on how to improve and any recommendations for your store or website.
Yeah, Dulshan, if you want to contact us, I will put our contact email address. It is in the chat as well. I put all our details.
I've just put our details on the screen as well.
Okay, so there's the email address. So yeah, please, everybody, if you've got any further queries, and I'd like to remind you that you can save the chat from today. There's the three dots at the end. Just click those and click Save Chat. So and then you'll have a full record of the transcript here. What further steps with relation to this is that we will be emailing a summary of the presentation out today. It is a summary. It's not all of the slides, but we will be sending that out to people with a number of offers after the presentation finishes today. Sybil, is there anything else that you want to add?
Yes, I just saw that there's also a question from Pooja, who's asking if can I sell my own products but also do drop shipping both from the same Shopify account, and the answer is yes, you can certainly do that.
So yeah, so that's good. There are contact details on the screen there. Please look at our website. There's a number of a lot of information, and we've got an online store with a whole range of offers in it. And there will be an offer today for people that we are putting out there. And if you want further information, you're in contact with us now. You'll be on our mailing list if you wish to do so, and through MailChimp. And we will be running a range of further presentations. You've just seen two of them earlier, and we look forward to seeing you, some of you at least, on the 25th of April for the live event, live at the British Library. And thank you all for the kind comments that you're putting on the screen. It's much appreciated. Anything you want to add, Sybil?
No, I just want to thank everyone for attending. And yeah, as Gary said, hope to see you on one of the future webinars or workshops, and also wish you the best of luck with your online businesses.
Yeah, and thank you all for joining us today. It's much appreciated. And please, those people we've been communicating with, please get in contact with us and we will get back to you soon. Thank you for joining us all today, and I hope to see you at an event either online or in person in a future. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon. On this sunny day in London, goodbye.